Hi there, this is Jamerrill, and I'm back today for my weekly Wednesday video to share some quick tips on ways to help your family save money when you hit the road this summer and spring and fall for some fun family travel. My family of 8 and I just returned from 5 days in Nashville for the Teach Them Diligently convention. I spoke there on a few sessions, and we also visited with several homeschool companies and heard other speakers. We met some other fun families, and it was a really nice time. It could have also been a very expensive time if we didn't plot our course before we left. Whenever we travel as a family, there's a few things that we normally do that help us count our pennies along the way. One of the first things we do is we normally bring most of our food. Simple items such as, look, they're outside on my porch. Instead of hauling loaves of bread across many state lines, usually what we've been doing is taking tortillas, or you can see I only have one left, but this is called a roll-up, and it's high fiber, it's very healthy. You could also bring a pack of tortillas, whichever kind you like, and instead of sandwich bread that can easily get crushed, especially if you're going in and out of hotel rooms and stopping at parks for picnics and those kind of things, we make these with peanut butter and jelly and roll them up for the kids. They really enjoy those. We also pack turkey and cheese and other perishable items, but we take them in our cooler, and that way in the hotel room we can have some variety with our sandwiches on flatbread. Another thing that I did whenever we stayed at the Gaylord for Teach 'em Diligently is I invested just a little bit more money, and I bought these oatmeal cups that already had, let's see here, they already had a nice lid, if I can get the lid off. And with the coffee maker in the morning, I heated up hot water, I filled each cup of oatmeal with hot water, put the lid back on, and we all had hot oatmeal in the hotel room. Because when you travel, of course, it's always very best if you can stay at a hotel that offers a free breakfast along with your meal. That's great for families, but you don't always have that option. So we were thrilled with where we were staying, but for breakfast we had oatmeal cups. Quick snacks, I usually invest in these big bags of organic carrots from Costco. That way I can give the kids little baggies in the car for snacks, and in the hotel room things like baby carrots are great. I also took things like pudding cups, chocolate vanilla pudding cups. Everyone thought they were having big treats. And when we travel, we usually plan to eat out once a day. We're not always able to. Sometimes it's once every other day. Hey, kitty, get down. Kitty's in the video. Farm life. We usually plan to eat out once a day, and as I mentioned, not always able to, but sometimes, if nothing else, we do like one big snack a day. When we were in Nashville, we had a day where we ate all of our meals in our room, but then we went out for ice cream that night, and that was a big treat for us there. Okay. Usually fruit such as apples. Apples do really well traveling, along with the carrots. Granola bars. If you live in Virginia, as we do, or even Pennsylvania, there is a wonderful grocery outlet called Sharp Shopper, and it's a lot of the closeout items from stores like Costco, and for just a fraction of the cost. So before we even left, I went into our local Sharp Shopper, which I have been so blessed with. I'm a Sharp Shopper fan, and I bought huge cases of granola bars, and I think I got a big case of 200 individual bags of Teddy Grahams for $3.99 for the whole entire box. So we had a lot of Teddy Graham snacks on our trip too. So that's a quick way to save money in and out of hotel rooms by just budgeting, taking your own food, eating in your room as much as possible, filling up on lots of good veggies and fruits, and again, to recap, taking flatbread, pita bread, tortillas instead of sandwich bread, because I have been the mom with crushed loaves of bread on trips before. Another thing that we have done for family travels, if we have a year where we know ahead of time that we're going to be doing a lot of buzzing around, maybe visiting family, or again, this year we have a lot of homeschool conventions that I'm speaking at. Maybe if we know there's a wedding coming up or other events, those years I invest in the Association of Science and Technology Center Museum Pass. Now, if I have that name a little scrambled, and you also, after I tell you about it, will want the link for that pass, look in the description of this video, and I have a link to my blog post that accompanies this video, and it has a link to the pass that I'm going to tell you about. It's usually a pass that I can purchase for about $100, and again, if I divide that by my family of 8, it's a huge savings. That pass gives me admission for an entire year of whichever science center I buy it through. I also usually get a few free IMAX tickets and guest passes, 4 to 6 guest passes to that particular science center. And as long as my family and I, if I can see where we're going to visit that center 3 to 4 times in a 12-month period, the pass is well worth it, because I feel like after our first visit, it's like every visit after that is free. But in addition to that, there is an annual list of 300 additional museums, science centers, aquariums, and children's museums that we also will get free admission to, or we get a heavy discount. So, like last time I had the pass, we went to Florida. We went to several museums, totally free. A science museum we went to, we got our passes for 50% off. There's children's museums that are close to home here that we can go to. There's one in Winchester, Virginia that we can go to, and last time we went it was free. Now those prices and offers change. Like any good deal, you do have to check in, call the center before you go, and see what their policy is for that pass for that year. Usually it's an annual agreement. That pass is a way that we've been able to take in a lot of sites and attractions. We went to New York City a few years ago, and we got into the Central Park Zoo for 50% off, and that can be pretty expensive for a large family. So again, with our museum pass that we were working locally anyway, it benefited us whenever we traveled. The way that I prepare to save my family money before we travel is I look up the location that we're going to be going to. For whatever reason, I look up a community calendar to see if they have any festivals or any other events. One location we went to not long ago had a very nice free petting zoo that also had a large playground and obviously animals we can feed and peacocks and cows and someplace we could go to away from home. So there's also usually parks. There was a nature center, one location that we went to. So it's just really good to peruse online wherever you're going. And I usually make a list of all the free stuff my family can get into, and I pair it with that museum and that museum pass, and I just work it to pieces. Another good way to save your family money whenever you're traveling, I know I mentioned this in my other video, within our state, our homeschool group usually has events and other locations that are discounted. They have special homeschool days, homeschool pass days. In Virginia, Williamsburg usually has, Colonial Williamsburg usually has a 2-week homeschool week period where it's heavily discounted for homeschoolers. We've done that event before, and I believe it was at least half off. I didn't do my research on that because I just pulled that up out of the back of my brain. But if you look up Colonial Williamsburg homeschool weeks, you'll find the discounted rate, and it's a substantial discount. It makes it possible for our whole family to go. So, and that's with our state homeschool organization, which is HEAV.org. Oh, and let me go back quickly to our family staying in a hotel room together, because with homeschool convention season in full swing now, I have received that question from several families on, well, how do you travel with all your kids, and do you get 2 hotel rooms? And usually, many of the hotels that are working with homeschool conventions, they know that large families are going to be staying in their rooms, so you can always call and ask them, but they generally know there's a lot of family and there's a lot of kids coming along. So we have still been fine staying in one room because of the ages of our younger children. We just make it like a big camp out. We bring quilts and sleeping bags. So for our small children who are 7, 4, and 3, that's Naomi, Gabriel, and Liam, they just have a camp out party on the floor in our hotel room. We bring the baby bed for our 1-year-old. Our 2 teenage sons sleep in one bed, and my husband and I sleep in the other. Another tip is whenever you're choosing your room for a hotel, if you ask for the handicapped room, you're going to get a little more space, a little bit bigger bathroom, usually a bigger walking way within the room itself, and that can give your family just a few more inches. It all adds up. So those are my quick tips on ways to save your family money whenever you're traveling this spring, summer, and hopefully some fun fall travel as well. We like to stay home in the winter, but as soon as we can get out, we try to hit the road for some fun. Please leave your questions, your comments, your tips in the comments below in this video. Again, check the link to the accompanying article for the link for that museum pass that I mentioned. It's always good to call and get information on that. Find your local science centers. There was also international locations, international museums in Europe and Asia that are on that list. So if you are a world traveler, I applaud you. That it sounds like a lot of fun. You should also get that pass. And I get no affiliate commission for that pass, but I could sure sell it. It's been big in our family for years. So again, leave your tips, leave your comments. It was great to talk to you again this week, and let me know what you think. Bye-bye.